All right, we're going to talk about the burn and what the burn is. Do not, and I mean do not, even try to open up a restaurant, whether you have money or don't have any money, if you don't have that burn inside you. You've got to have that burn. And what I mean by burn is just that inner voice telling you, kind of like when you meet someone the first time and you get all those buttery pterodactyls and freaking butterflies flying around, and you want that person, male or female, whatever, and you just, you feel like you can't go on without that individual. Well, you need to have that same feeling before you step into the restaurant business, because it's gonna take every single thing you got, especially if you're starting out with no money and no credit. Trust me, because I went on the no money side, not the with money side. If you have money and you're gonna jump into a franchise or one of these, big chains or whatever and get started just because you love restaurants, great. But you got to have that burn inside you and that feeling. You got to be 100% committed. It's literally the exact same thing as getting married. You have to put everything you have into that relationship, because it truly is a relationship. But not with one person, with the world, with everybody. Whether you just want to have a little tiny place in one town, or you want to expand and have several restaurants in your state, or even if your goal is to have them across the country. It's going to take continuous love every single day. Same thing with a relationship. Some people aren't going to like what you choose to do. They're going to say, nope, not good for you. Nope, not good for you. No, you're not going to be able to do it. No, that's not going to happen. No, you can't do this. Do not listen to any of those people. Take in their advice if it's people that you care about. But if you truly have that burn and it's something that you really want to do, you need to take the leap of faith and do it. If you do not, don't. Because if you don't have money, you're going to create even more problems for yourself. And if you give up midstream, you might as well forget it. Once you go all in, you need to stick it. You need to stick it out completely. And if you do have money, you're going to create a black hole for yourself. The money's just going to keep going right in the hole, and you're not going to know what in the world is going on. So you really need to have that desire and that passion. So either way, you got to have that burn. My name's Joe Tarantino. I'm a restaurateur. I'm an executive chef. I've worked all around the country as a restaurant operator. I was in the United States Air Force 5 years. I've been in the restaurant business now for over 20 years, and I decided to go into business for myself. Actually, I could be making probably $120,000 a year right now if I chose to go with a chain and be a director of operations, multi-unit manager, and all that. But I have the burn. I want my own. I love people. So I choose to make 10 to 15 cents to the dollar instead of making $100,000 a year. My choice. Am I at where I want to be yet? Absolutely not. I'm still working. My goals are huge. I have a lot of small goals, and I have a lot of fight because I started on the no money side. Thank God for the knowledge that I've gained throughout the years and having great mentors and teachers and different chains that I've worked from fast food to fine dining that have given me the knowledge I need to help me with that burn and achieve my goals. So like the marriage, you really gotta love it. It's gotta be inside you, because you're gonna face tremendous amount of challenges. You need to have a love for people. If you don't have a love for people, forget about it. Nobody wants to go eat somewhere, no matter how good your product is, if they're not gonna have good service, which is another video we'll talk about later, or the owner is not gonna be genuine to all people, no matter what the race, religion, color, all that other crap. Once you walk into the doors to that business, it's open to everyone. If you can't be open to everyone, or you have feelings that, how should I say it? If there's a certain type of person that you particularly don't like, I wouldn't open. You have to really have a genuine love for people, and people can read that. You won't make it very far at all. So when you walk through those doors, you really have to make sure that you're open to everyone and be genuine, especially if you don't have any money, because people need people. You can't have a business without people. Nobody's going to spend money if you don't have people. So people are the key to your success, including your employees, and that's another video. Also, relationship. If you are in a relationship with a loved one, whether it's a female or male, whichever you are watching this, that has a desire to open up a place, whether it be franchise or privately owned independent, you need to make sure that your partner's all in with you. If your partner is not all in, or they doubt you, you might as well hang it up right there, because one of those two relationships is not going to make it. Guaranteed. I've been through almost 3 relationships now because of my love and passion for the restaurant business, and I have that burn and I feel it and I can't stop it. And people ask me all the time, why don't I go get one of those jobs? I can't. I have a dream, I have a vision, I have a goal, I have a brand. I'm not at where I want to be at financially, but I feel it coming because I have a passion and I believe in myself. And that's another thing. You have to believe in yourself, especially when the people you love the most are telling you it's not going to work. It will work, but you got to have the burn and you got to have the passion. And if you're in a relationship, you've got to make sure that it's balanced and that person is in it with you 100%. Because if they're not, like I told you, you need to make sure that spouse of yours or that girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is in agreement with what you're trying to do, and they need to be included in that operation. Your family's critical, and the restaurant business is extremely tough for an owner-operator when you have a family. So if you do have a family, your family needs to be involved with it, or you will have no family time. And we'll talk more about setting up hours and how all that works and how to balance that later in another video. Also, talking about the no's, like I said, 20 years ago, I was sitting at a table. I was working at Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut as an apprentice chef for some fantastic chefs. Mike Olson and Giuseppe Rizzuto were teaching me at the time. And I remember one day, Giuseppe, we were sitting at the table at his house, and we were playing cards. And I said, you know what? I really want to open a restaurant. I feel this urge to open a restaurant. This is 20 years ago. And he said, no, it'll never happen. Never work. And this was a good friend of mine. So people are going to tell you no all the time. So make sure, if you have that burn, look what I did. I'm not where I need to be. I have plenty of debt, trust me. And I'm working out of that as I move forward. But if I would have listened, I would not be sitting here in front of you today sharing my knowledge with you and being able to travel all over, sharing my brand and cooking with celebrities and cooking with other business owners and collaborating and doing the stuff I love. I love people and I love food and I love sharing, and you got to. Another huge thing that helped me get to where I'm at and to believe in myself, whether you agree or not, that's up to you. You guys think or believe in whatever you want, but the man upstairs was a huge part of the key to my motivation and believing in myself and keep pushing forward when other people weren't, because you're going to get hate mail, you're going to get all kinds of stuff, people trying to knock you down because they don't understand what it is inside you. Only you know and feel what's inside of you, and you just got to be consistent and keep pushing forward through it. The black hole, you guys opening up that do have money and financial backing, and you decide to go into a franchise operation, you have got to study and know exactly what you're doing. Just because you have money in the bank does not mean you're going to be a successful operator, because you can open in the center of Atlanta, the center of LA, and you've got plenty of money, because I'm telling you what, that money will disappear if you do not know the numbers of the restaurant business, if you do not have a great product, if you do not do your marketing research, if you give the trust to someone else and you don't understand the mechanics all the way around, the whole figure eight, and we'll talk about figure eights in another video, the figure eight of the restaurant, your money's just going to be dripping away, and people are going to be telling you, well, sir, this is what it is. Well, sir, this is what it is. No, you need to know exactly what you're doing or your restaurant will fail. That's why we have the toughest time getting loans for restaurateurs, because everybody, I got a great dish, I'm going to pop open a restaurant, but I have no idea how to even cost out that dish. So it's critical, whether you have money or not have money, to totally understand the business or get with somebody that you can trust that understands the business, that can help you set it up correctly in the beginning before you get started. And lastly, you got that burn, you're moving forward, and all this is in agreement with you and what you want to do. Make sure you test your product. Those of you that do not have the working capital or the cash flow, whatever town you don't have to start in a big town. I wish I had the money, or I would have. But for whatever reason, I started in small town Georgia, and I worked landscaping. I was doing home maintenance and yard maintenance in Vidalia, Lyons, Georgia, while I was doing business lunch delivery during the day. I was creating my food and dropping off and delivering. First, I was doing it for free, letting people taste. I wanted to taste the product to validate my opinion, because I thought it was great. Of course, it's the food I grew up with. but I wanted to validate in my area what everybody thought of the food, and everybody was loving it. So then I started doing this business lunch delivery, put a catering menu together and started handing it out, and people started ordering. So from 9 o'clock in the morning to 12 in the afternoon, I was cooking, and then as soon as I dropped off my last dish, I went straight to work to keep my revenue coming in so I could take care of my family. So it can be done if you have no money, but it's going to take 1,000 times more work. You know, due to whatever choices I made in the past, I didn't have a lot of money to start with, no credit, but that's how I was able to actually get myself into my first building and start selling really small by just doing business lunch delivery and building up a small clientele. And that's how it went from there. And I've been been with several restaurants, but that's what you want to do. You want to validate that product, get all these, not people you know, because sometimes people you know aren't going to be honest. Take it to different businesses. Hey guys, my name is such and such. This is a new product I want to see if you liked it. Take it to John Deere, these different businesses, and let them try it. And leave a feedback card with them in your card, and have them, you know, text you or message you what they thought of the food product, because you need that feedback to validate your product. That you definitely need feedback on. That's critical. And if you know you're at a 90% rate where people are loving that product, then you're on your way. Then keep going with that burn. But make sure you believe in yourself. It's going to be a tough road, and we're going to start talking about locations and all these different fundamental elements that are going to help you succeed in whatever that is. And guys, please, wherever you're watching from, make sure you let me know where you're watching from. You have any questions? I love this business. I love everything about it. The people, the unfortunately the stress of it, the kitchen stress. I mean, I love the whole thing. It keeps you on your toes. You got to be energetic. I promise you that, to be in the restaurant business. And as an owner operator, you really need to be a part of that business. Don't just pop it open and then take off to Tahiti and then come back and wonder, where's all my money? Where's all my product? You need to know exactly what's going on. And actually, you can run your restaurant just by looking at the numbers. So if you do want to take a vacation, once your restaurant's stable, you can see exactly what's going on and know what's going on in there without even being in the building. But that's years after you open, because you have to build that clientele and you've got to build those relationships with your community and your local people and all that, so on and so forth. But please leave any questions that you may have, questions about the restaurant business. You could be in the restaurant business now. You have anything that you'd like to ask. Why is my food cost this? Why is my labor cost this? There's so many different things that are out there that you may have questions for, and I'd love to answer them and give you my feedback. And if anybody else has feedback on this, feel free to add in there an open discussion about the restaurant business. It's a fantastic business. It's very, very rewarding. There's nothing better than taking something that you created, even if you're in a franchise, because you're still creating a product. But as a chef myself, something that's your own creation, you put it down in front of that guest, and they look up and they smile and they say, man, this is the best thing I've ever had. That's why I do it. I absolutely love it. Plus all the people you get to meet and the relationships. I mean, you can't beat it. And then when you walk through the kitchen, it's a whole different story. When you walk into the kitchen with your staff and everything, because it is a very stressful environment. But it's very rewarding. And at the end of the day, when you've hit 100% and you look in your TripAdvisor and you see 4.8, 4.9, and you see all those 5-star ratings come in, there's your reward, at least for me. I don't cook for myself. I cook for everybody else. When I come home, I go in my cupboard over there, I get me a can of raviolis. I don't even have a microwave in my house. I won't even take the time to cook for myself because it's not fun. It's fun for me to be in that environment, working with people, working with my staff, coaching, training. So you got to have a real love for it. So don't open a restaurant unless you have a burn. My name is Joe Tarantino. Please like and subscribe. And any questions, please feel free to ask. And don't forget to check out Tarantino's Little Italy page. We're always cooking live streams every Saturday, and we post when we're doing it and where we're doing it, and we have a lot of fun. They're actually quite entertaining because they're done live and there's no editing, cuts, or anything like that. So if you wanna, if you're a restaurant person, you wanna see some funny stuff, please check it out. You'll definitely be enlightened and have a good laugh. But thank you so much. God bless. Believe in yourself. You got that burn, go get it. Any questions you need someone to consult with, that's what I'm here for, and that's one of the other things that I do. So y'all have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon.